Welcome back to all the 30-40 people who are watching this series. This is the fourth and the last episode of the beautiful Mahabalipuram series. Up till now, in all the three episodes, we covered the first tourist complex, which had the Krishna's Butterball, Trimurti Cave Temple, Ganesha Ratha, Varaha Cave Temple, Roya Gopuram, Dharmaja Mandapa, and then we had the museums, Maritime Museum and Lighthouse Museum, and the lighthouse itself. And then we went to the Mahishamardini Cave Temple, and above that we had the Olakaneshwara Temple. We came out from there and then we saw the Krishna Mandapa and the famed Descent of the Ganges panel, or the Arjuna's Penance panel. Let's continue from there. Next, we visited the 5 Rathas. Rathas are basically a chariot pulled by horses. In India, it also means temple cars that holds a shrine. It's called so because it resembles a Ratha. In Mahabalipuram, we have 5 of them called the Pancharathas. Each of the 5 Rathas are monoliths, meaning carved out from a single rock. Locals have named them after the members of the Pandava clan. Of the 4 Rathas that are in a line, the first one is a Draupadi Ratha, named after the wife of 5 Pandava brothers. It is the smallest of all Rathas and is the temple of goddess Durga. It looks like an elegant hut, the roof of which has beautiful designs. One thing you have to keep in mind is that all these stone monuments were originally painted and hence would have looked more magnificent back then. Inside the sanctum, you can see the figure of Durga. Now, sanctum is the innermost area of the temple where the shrine is present. Around Durga, there are 4 ganas, and towards the lower side, there are 2 devotees, one of which is about to cut his head in sacrifice. A similar relief is found in another temple in Mahabalipuram. Do you know which was it? If yes, mention it in the comments below. In front of the temple is a statue of lion, which is a vehicle of Durga. Next in line is Arjuna Ratha, which was initially known as Nakula Ratha. It is larger than the Draupadi Ratha and has 2 stories. On the lower story, you have 5 carvings each on 3 sides. Of the 5 carvings, the ones you find on the ends are Dwarapalas, meaning guardians, and one in the center is the main shrine. On one side, we have Vishnu and Garuda. On one, we have Shiva and Nandi. And on the other, it could be either Indra or Subramanya on an elephant. Some say it could even be Ayanar, a god only known in South India. There is a Nandi bull at the back of the temple, which could mean that it was a Shiva temple. Next, we have the Bhima Ratha, which is a large hall-like temple. The roof of this Ratha is similar to that of Ganesha Ratha in the earlier complex, but is bigger. The entrance to this temple is on the western side and is incomplete from the inside. There is a long mass of rock inside which is uncut. This rock was intended for a figure of the reclining Vishnu, according to some scholars. Next is Dharmaraja Ratha, which is the tallest and grandest of them all, and the only one with inscriptions. It's a Tritala structure, meaning having 3 stories, which represents 3 spaces: earth, outer space, and heaven, also referred to as Bhur Bhuva Swaha. There are 8 figures carved on the walls of the ground level. On the wall opposite the Bhishma Ratha, you have Brahma on one end, and on the other you have Harihara, a combination of Shiva and Vishnu in one body. If you observe the crown, half of it is Jata with a moon on it, which signifies that left side is Shiva and right is Vishnu. On the wall directly behind this wall is Shiva on one end, and the other figure is believed to be a portrait of Narasimha, the Pallava king. He is depicted wearing a cylindrical crown, heavy earrings and a necklace. On the wall which is faced towards the crowd, both the figures are Shiva, and the other side has an Ardhanarishwara figure, which is half Shiva and half Parvati. You can clearly see that one half has a breast and the hips are feminine in a Tribhanga pose, which is Parvati, and the other half is Shiva. The other figure on this side is Subramanya or Murugan, the most popular god in Tamil Nadu. On this Ratha, you will find the inscription Mahamalla. The 5th Ratha is called the Sahadeva Ratha and is to the west of Bhima and Arjuna Rathas. It's sometimes attributed to both the Pandava twins, Nakula and Sahadeva. If you observe the entrance, you will see 2 pillars with resting lions at the bottom, and behind that 2 pillars have elephants at the bottom. This is not seen elsewhere in Mahabalipuram, as all the other pillars has lions at the bottom, which you would have noticed by now. There is no shrine inside the temple. Adjacent to this temple is an elephant statue, which along with the elephant found near the entrance may mean that this temple was dedicated to Indra. After visiting the 5 Rathas, we drove to the Show Temple. Parking is free near all complexes. The Show Temple is adjacent to the ocean and has a pretty big complex. It is said that the sailors used to call this the Seven Pagoda as there were 7 temples here. Now this is debatable, but such a big complex could easily hold 7 temples. What remains now is 2 temples. So initially there was a carving of the reclining Vishnu on stone, probably created in the early 7th century. Then after decades, King Narasimha, also called as Mahamalla, on whom the place is named, built an enclosure to the image. Around the beginning of the 8th century, King Rajasimha built 2 temples to the east and west of the reclining Vishnu image, and those 2 temples are what we see today. Over the centuries, the walls of this temple has been badly eroded by weathering. If you observe carefully, a lot of statues are deformed, some are worn out beyond recognition. The tall temple has the original ling from the Pallava period. This cylindrical shrine you see encircled in a stepwell setup was uncovered in 1990 and is the latest addition to the Shore temple. Behind this beautifully carved cylindrical shrine is Vishnu in the Varaha avatar, completely in the animal form. In front of the cylindrical shrine there is a small well-like structure which represents Yoni, and the cylindrical shrine itself represents Ling, suggestively. This structure was built before the 2 temples. In 1992, another feature of the Shore temple was uncovered. It looks like a stepped structure but is actually the foundations of a breakwater. Now if you see, this is opposite to the ocean side, which means water used to reach till here during those times, and it probably gave an island-like feel to the temples. What you see is only a short portion of the wall. To fill the gaps between the stones and to make it watertight, rough lime plaster was used. That's the white color you see on the wall. Alright, that's all we saw in Mahabalipuram. I guess it took us a little over 3 hours to cover everything. After that, we went to Santana Beach restaurant to have some seafood. Mahabalipuram has some good beach facing restaurants where you can have seafood, drink a beer and chill. Santana does serve beer and a few other hard drinks. We tried a few seafood here and the taste is okay, can't say great. We ordered a fish, I forgot the name, which was good. Then we ordered fried calamari, which is squid, with butter garlic sauce. It was okay. For the main course, we had rice with some prawn curry, which was again okay. Santana does have a good view of the beach, and you can also see the Shore temple from here. It's a nice place to chill after going around in the sun. A glass of beer, fried squid and the ocean view. What else do we need? Okay, so that's the end of this video. It took a really long time for me to make this video, so do show your support by liking and sharing this video. Subscribe, and if you're feeling generous, then you can click on the thanks button and also join the membership of my channel. Bye.